That's right, Mrs. Dolly Levi, born Gallagher. Social introductions. Ladies and gentlemen of excellent family, introduced under the most respectable conditions, in an atmosphere of elegance and refinement. Object, matrimony. Unfortunately, I won't be able to offer my usual lightning services today, as I have a previous appointment in Yonkers, New York, arranging the second marriage of Mr. Horace Vandergelder, the well-known half-a-millionaire. As my late husband Ephraim Levi used to say, that means he's got at least 60,000 cash. But I'll do my best to have you carried across somebody's threshold before the week is out. Now, I'm also available for financial consultation, instruction in the guitar and mandolin, short-distance hauling, and varicose veins reduced.
Come on, Dolly. She's the one who's business recommend. She's in the kind of man your sister wants to snatch him up. Don't forget to bring her minute out to your magic up. Come on, Dolly.
Mrs. Levi.
Mr. Kemper, the artist. You know, I'm something of an artist myself. I do these silhouettes with scissors and black paper. Here's one of Ada Rian looking the other way. I have to do them like that because I'm no good at noses.
Mrs. Levi, the train for Yonkers leaves in 5 minutes, and if we don't get there on time...
But we will, Mr. Kemper. And not only will Horace Vandergelder give you permission to marry his niece Ermengarde, but he will also dance at your wedding. And not alone either, because I happen to be engaged in finding him a suitable second wife himself. What he really wants is someone steady to clean the house. As my late husband Ephraim Levi used to say, marriage is a bribe. To make a housekeeper, think she's a householder.
I know all about it, Mrs. Levi. Half New York says he's going to propose to Mrs. Irene Malloy this very afternoon.
Which is exactly why I'm on my way to Yonkers this morning, Mr. Kemper. I can take on your case and knock off 4 lovebirds with 1 stone or whatever I'll throw. And I'll see him. Well, what do you think of that? I have nothing here to pay my train fare with. Only large bills, 5s and 7s.
I think I have some change here somewhere. I would only hope this isn't a wild goose chase, Mrs. Levi.
And speaking of poultry, I am also available for fresh Jersey eggs, surgical corsets reboned, ears pierced, pierced ears replugged.
Mrs. Levi.
Just in the kind of man your sister wants to snatch him up. Don't forget to bring your maid out to your magic up. Come on, Dolly.
So tell me, Mrs. Levi, what's in all this for you?
A living, Mr. Kemper. Some people paint, some sew, I meddle. I have always been a woman who arranges things for the pleasure and the profit it derives. I have always been a woman who arranges things like furniture and daffodils and lives. When a man with a timid tongue meets a girl with a diffident air, why should the tortured creatures beat around the bush when heaven knows Mother Nature always needs a little push? So I put my hand in here, I put my hand in there, and a girl over 6'3" loves a man who comes up to her ear. Surely it's obvious she'll never be seduced till some kind soul condescends to give him a little boost. So I put my hand in here, It's my duty to assist the Lord above. I have always been a woman who arranges things like luncheon parties, poker games, and love. My aplomb at cosmetic art turned a frump to a trump lady fair. She had a countenance a little bit like Scrooge, but up today you would swear the Lord himself applied the rouge. So I put my hand in here. Gets sold a little when I use my fist a little. Some young girl gets kissed a little. Pressure with the thumbs, matrimony comes when I put my hand
in there. Mrs. Levi.
I know, Mr. Kemper. The Yonkers train is ready to leave. Now you go get our tickets. Order lunch, get a window seat, and I'll meet you on board. Ephraim Levi, I'm going to get married again. I'm going to marry Horace Vandergelder for his money and send it circulating among the people the way you taught me. And I want a sign today, sometime today, that you approve. Oh, it won't be a marriage in the sense we had one, but I shall certainly make him happy. And I'm tired, Ephraim, tired of living hand to mouth. So I want that sign.
Mrs. Levi.
Sometime today. Now don't you worry, Mr. Kemper. We'll make that train. We'll get to Yonkers. You'll marry Ermengarde. Just leave everything to me. For when my little pinky wiggles, some young maiden gets the giggles, then I make my knuckles active. Maya says she's so attractive. Then I move my index digit and they both begin to fidget. Then I clench my palm. The preacher reads a psalm when I put my hand in there.
Dare to be an old maid, Ermengarde? I'll cut you off without a cent. And no crying in front of the store.
I can't help it, Uncle. I'm unhappy.
Then by golly, you'll go and weep a while in New York where it won't be noticed. Now get upstairs and start packing your trunk. And don't get any tears on the lock, it was just oil. Cornelius! Barnaby? Cornelius!
You stamped, Mr. Vandergelder?
I did. I've got news for you both. I'm going to New York this afternoon to march in the 42nd Street Parade. And when I get back, you're going to have a missus.
I'm too young, Mr. Vandergelder.
Not yours, dagnabbit, mine. I mean, I'm getting married again. And in honor of that occasion, I've decided to promote you, Cornelius, to chief clerk.
And what am I now, Mr. Vandergelder?
You're an impertinent fool, that's what you are now. And I'm promoting you from impertinent fool to chief clerk. Any more questions?
Yes.
What?
Does chief clerk get one evening off a week?
So that's how you thank me for your promotion, is it? No, sir, you'll attend to the store as usual. Now get back to work. And don't forget to put the lid on the sheep dip. Evenings off. Marrying artists. Foolishness. 99% of the people in this world are fools. And the rest of us are in great danger of contamination. Why, even I was once young, which was foolish, and got married, which was foolish, and was poor, which is more foolish than anything else. Then my wife died, which was foolish of her. I grew older, which was sensible of me, became rich, friendless, and mean, which in Yonkers is about as far as you can go. Oh, I know what you're wondering now. Why a man of such good sense would be planning anything as foolish as getting married again. Well, the answer is simple. A house without a woman is like an empty shell. And pretty dirty, too. It takes a woman, all powdered and pink, to joyously clean out the drain in the sink. And it takes an angel with long golden lashes and soft dresden fingers for dumping the ashes. Yes, it takes a woman, a dainty woman, a sweetheart, a mistress, a wife. Oh, yes, it takes a woman, a fragile woman, to bring you the sweet things in life. The frail young maiden who's constantly there for washing and bluing and shoeing the man. And it takes a female for setting the table and weaning the Guernsey and cleaning the stable. Yes, it takes a woman, a dainty woman, a sweetheart, a mistress, a wife. Oh, yes, it takes a woman, a fragile woman, to bring you the sweet things in life. And so she'll work until infinity. 3 cheers for them and unity. Rah, 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 F-E-M-I-T-Y. Get out of here! And in the winter, she'll shovel the ice and lovingly set out the traps for the mice. She's a joy, a treasure, for practically speaking. For whom can you turn when the plumbing is leaking?
To that dainty woman, that fragile woman, that sweetheart, that mistress, that wife. Oh, yes, it takes a woman,
A husky woman,
to bring you the sweet things in love. Oh, yes, it takes a woman, a dainty woman, a sweetheart, a mistress, a wife.
oh yes, it takes a woman, a fragile woman, to bring you the sweet things in life. All right, get out of here, all of you. Get going.
Congratulations, congratulations, 1,000 congratulations.
What?
Congratulations, Mr. Vandergelder. All New York is buzzing with the news that you practically proposed to Irene Malloy. The streets are lined with eligible ladies prostrate with grief. All my congratulations and sympathy.
Sympathy?
Did I say that? A slip of the tongue, that's all. No, I am delighted with the happy news. After all, she wasn't easy to unload. By that I mean, you know what people said. Although I, for one, never believed the rumors. No, I didn't.
Rumors? What rumors?
Nothing to get upset about, Mr. Vandergelder. I mean, according to all known facts, her first husband passed on quite naturally. It's just that he went so sudden. A few spoonfuls of chowder she made special for him, and... but it could happen to anyone. No, there's no truth in it. Just one word of advice, Mr. Vandergelder. Eat out.
You mean to tell me that Mrs.
I mean to say nothing, Mr. Vandergelder. Just friendly advice. Keep away from the chowder. By the way, she's ordered her wedding gown. Beautiful. You should see it. Black. No, as I said before, congratulations on your forthcoming nuptials, and may you rest in... may guardian angels watch over you both. Particularly at dinner.
Now look here, Mrs. Levi. You introduced me to Mrs. Malloy in the first place, and rumors or not, I intend on calling on her this afternoon, as arranged.
Very well, Mr. Vandergelder. Then there's nothing left for me to do but go back to New York and tell the other girl, the heiress, not to wait.
What did you say?
Nothing. A word. Heiress.
Particulars, Mrs. Levi. I demand particulars. Her name.
Her name. Money. Ernestina Money.
Oh, what a lovely, lovely name.
Picture, if you will, hair as shiny as a newly minted dime, eyes as big round as silver dollars, skin as soft and mossy as an old greenback.
Oh, I can feel her now.
Age 19, weight 102, waist 47.
Waist 47?
That's with the money belt. Now, I could arrange to have you meet this Ernestina this very afternoon.
I ain't got time. I have to bring my niece Ermengarde to New York until she forgets a certain Ambrose Kemper.
Oh, I could do that for you, Mr. Vandergelder. I know just how to handle such things.
And then I'm marching in the 42nd Street Parade.
What an amazing coincidence. Guess who's been chosen to ride on the main float? The spirit of 42nd Street. Miss Money. Her mother was a cash, you know.
All right. I'll meet your Miss Money. But I still intend on calling on Mrs. Malloy first.
Very well, Mr. Vandergelder. What races you make me run. I'll meet you in front of Mrs. Malloy's hat shop at 2:30 as usual.
Just one more thing. Suppose I decide against Mrs. Malloy, and I don't like Miss Money neither.
Well then, I happen to have one more name on my list, Mr. Vandergelder. A name I know as well as my own. But let's not get into that now. That'll come up all by itself, all in good time. Don't you worry about that. But wait till you see Ernestina, Horace. A vision, a dream.
It takes a woman all powdered and pink to joyously clean out the drain in the sink. And it takes an angel with long golden lashes and soft dressed fingers for dumping the ashes.
Yes, it takes a woman. You know, Ephraim, I think I'll have that room done over in blue wallpaper. Yes, in blue. Ermengarde, Ambrose, I'm coming up there. We've got plans to make.
promoted from chief clerk to chief clerk. And if I'm good, in 10 years, I'll be promoted to chief clerk again. 33 years old and I still don't get an evening free. When am I going to begin to live?
You could live on holidays, Cornelius.
Do you remember what we did last Christmas? All those tomato cans went bad and exploded? We cleaned up the whole mess all afternoon. Do you call that living?
No.
Barnaby, you and I are going to New York.
You mean close the store?
Uh-huh.
Cornelius, we can't.
We'll have to. Some rotten tomato cans are going to explode.
Holy cabooses! How do you know?
I'll light this candle under them. That's how I know. It'll make such a smell, customers won't be able to come in here for 24 hours. That'll give us an evening off. We're going to New York, Barnaby, and we're gonna live. We're gonna have a good meal. We're gonna be endangered. We're gonna spend our money and we're gonna be arrested.
Holy cabooses.
And one more thing, Barnaby. We're not coming back to Yonkers till we've each kissed a girl.
You can't do that. You don't know any girls.
I'm 33 years old. Gotta begin sometime.
I'm only 17, Cornelius. It isn't so urgent for me yet.
New York, Barnaby. Elevated trains. The lights of Broadway. A stuffed whale at Barnum's Museum.
A stuffed whale?
A stuffed whale! What do you say, Barnaby?
Yes, Cornelius, yes!
Now, the first thing to do is to make you financially independent. I know, I'll find you a job. Can you dance?
Mrs. Levi, I'm an artist. I paint.
Well then, my card.
Mrs. Dolly Levi, painters taught how to dance.
Now there's a man, Rudolph Reisenweber, at the Harmonia Gardens restaurant on 14th Street. I'll give you a note for him and we'll see if he can't have you both entered in the poker contest tonight. The prize is a week's engagement and a gold trophy.
Now hold on, Mrs. Levi. No fiancé of mine is going to set foot in any cafe. And I don't mind saying that I'm surprised that you have acquaintances in a place like that.
Not acquaintances, Mr. Kemper, friends. Dear friends from days gone by. My late husband believed in life, and any place you could find it. Cafes, ballrooms, yes, even theaters. Why, even when times were bad, down those steps at the Harmonia Gardens we came like clockwork. Ephraim and me.
Coming down like clockwork is all well and good, Mrs. Levi, but you're asking Ermengarde to work there.
It's the only way to show Horace Van de Gelder we mean business. Now you, go to the Harmonia Gardens restaurant this afternoon and tell them Mrs. Levi sent you. And incidentally, tell Rudolph that Dolly's coming back. And they want a table for two and a chicken for 8 o'clock tonight.
Bottom row looks all right, Cornelius. Now hold the candle at the ones on top. Not too close. They're swelled up like they're ready to burst. Holy cabooses, Cornelius! I can smell it all the way up here.
Let's get dressed, Barnaby. We're going to New York. Out there, there's a world outside of Yonkers. Way out there beyond this hick town, Barnaby. There's a slick town, Barnaby. Out there, full of shine and full of sparkle. Close your eyes and see it glisten, Barnaby. Listen, Barnaby. When Sunday clothes, there's lots of world out there. Get out your brilliantine and dime cigars.
We're gonna find adventure in the evening air, with girls in white in a perfect night, where the lights are bright as the stars. Put on your Sunday clothes, we're gonna ride through town in one of those new horse-drawn open cars. We'll see the shows at Delmonico's, and we'll close the town in a whirl, and we won't come home until we've kissed a girl.
Put on your Sunday clothes when you feel down and out. Shut down the street and have your picture took. Just like a dream, your spirit seemed to turn about. That Sunday shine is a certain sign that you feel as fine as you look. Beneath the parasol, the world is all a smile that makes you feel brand new down to your toes. Get out your feathers, your pads and leathers, your beads and buckles and bows. Oh, there's another Monday in your Sunday clothes.
Come on, Barnaby. We're going to New York. Elevated trains, Barnaby. The lights of Broadway.
Holy horses!
A stuffed whale, Barnaby.
Wow.
Come on.
Well,
thought you knew. Why, the marriage that Mrs. Levi is arranging between Mr. Horace and well-known author, half a millionaire, and my employer and friend, Mrs. Irene Malloy. Although, if you ask me, he'll never take the place of her late husband, Mr. Peter Malloy. May he rest in peace. Wherever he is, I'm not sure. What caution you know? Oh, it's all too much though with late husbands and new marriages. And on top of everything else, Miss Warner is returning her hat for the third time. It's the same old story. She wants cherries and feathers, cherries and feathers. To catch a beau, I suppose. Although if you ask me, I think she'd do better with a nice, heavy veil. I told her that ribbons down our backs is what we'll wear this summer, if we want to get a gentleman's eye. But she'd have none of it. Cherries and feathers she wants. And on today of all days, when that poor, dear, sweet Mrs. Malloy has enough on her mind, what with...
With what, Minnie?
With the door. It's stuck.
Stuck? Then push. You.
And as I'm saying, Mrs. Malloy, I could bite out my tongue for the things I've said. And the things I'm going to say. But as long as I've gone this far, I might as well go all the way. Mrs. Malloy, why? Well, I mean, why is...
Say it, Minnie. Why have I decided to marry Horace Vandegelder?
Oh, Mrs. Malloy, I didn't ask you that. Why, I would rather die on the grass than ask you such a personal question. But as long as you brought it up.
I'm marrying Horace Vandegelder for one reason and one reason alone, Minnie. To get away from the millinery business. I hate hats.
Mrs. Malloy!
And I can no longer stand being suspected of being a wicked woman with nothing to show for it.
Oh, Mrs. Malloy.
Don't protest, Minnie. All millineresses are suspected of being wicked women. That's why we can't go into restaurants or theaters or balls. That'd be all the proof they need. Take my word for it, Minnie. Either I marry Horace Vandegelder or I break out of this place like a fire engine. Oh, no. Not Miss Mortimer again.
Miss Mortimer, I'll take care of it.
No, Minnie. Leave it be. You can make another hat for Miss Mortimer if you like. I'm wearing this one myself.
Oh, Mrs. Malloy! But you can't! Well, I mean, you're a widow and that hat. Well, it's provocative. That's what it is.
Is it, Minnie? Well, who knows who may come into the shop today? And provocative may be just what I want to be.
Oh, Mrs. Malloy! Mrs. Malloy, wild horses couldn't make me ask this next question I'm about to ask. But I'm gonna ask it anyway. Do you love Horace Vandegelder?
No, Minnie. Peter Malloy, God rest him, was my fair share of love, and I'm not saying I was shortchanged. Once is enough for any woman, as long as it's true love. And it was that. Minnie, look. There are two men staring at the shop.
Men?
Why, I do believe they mean to come in here.
Men? In the shop? Oh, Mrs. Malloy, what'll we do?
Do? Why, flirt with them, of course. I'll give you the short one.
Oh, Mrs. Malloy! And you with all that talk about love.
Love enough I've had, Minnie. It's a bit of adventure I could do with now. We'll get them all heated up, and then drop them cold. It'll be good practice for married life. Now, let's go back into the workroom. I know some ways we can perk up our appearances. Besides, a bit of a wait will only make them nervous and easier for us to...
If you say vampire, I'll scream.
Vampire! Oh, Minnie, we'll get an adventure out of this yet.
Barnaby, all day long we wandered around New York. and nothing happens. Then we come to the quietest street in town, and suddenly,
Vandergelder!
is he still there? Go look.
He's sitting right over there on that bench. Cornelius, are you sure this is an adventure?
You don't have to ask, Barnaby. When you're in one, you'll know all right. Now, how much money you got left?
Not much, Cornelius. 40 cents for the train ride back, 30 cents for dinner, and 20 cents to see the whale. 90 cents. Why?
When those women come back, we'll have to pretend to be customers. Customers, that's it. I think the best thing to do is pretend we're rich. Then we won't have to spend anything. We're two men about town looking for hats for ladies. Good afternoon, Mrs.
Malloy.
Here, Cornelius Hackle.
Here, Barnaby Tucker.
My pleasure, gentlemen. Now, what can I do for you?
We're
Well,
happy
you
to
see, we're
and
two
here
ladies
to buy
about
some
town
ladies'
looking for some hats to Malloy. We need a hat. For a lady, of course. And everybody says, go to Mrs. Malloy's because she's so pretty. I mean, her hats are so pretty.
And so reasonable. As reasonable as under $1, and we'll still have enough to see the whale?
You'll have to pay him no mind, ma'am. He's come all the way from Yonkers to see that stuffed whale, and he's all excited. Just keep an eye on that street, Barnaby. Maybe you'll see it pass by.
Is it big, black, with little mean red eyes?
Yes?
It's sitting right over there on that bench.
Excuse me, Mr. Hackle. Did you say Yonkers?
Why, yes, Yonkers. And if you don't mind me saying so, I'm sure you'd love to see Yonkers. By that, I mean perhaps Mr. Malloy would like to see Yonkers too.
Oh, I'm a widow, Mr. Hackle.
You are? Barnaby, she's a widow. Terribly sorry, Mrs. Malloy. I'm sure Mr. Malloy would have loved to see Yonkers, especially in that hat. On you, of course, not him. May he rest in peace. You're a Catholic, aren't you? Oh, don't let that worry you. I'd be willing to change. Mrs. Malloy, if you'd ever happen to have a weekend off in the near future, I'd love to show you Yonkers from top to bottom.
Well, as a matter of fact, Mr. Hackle, I might be in Yonkers sooner than you'd think.
You will?
You see, I have a friend who lives in Yonkers.
You do?
Perhaps you know him.
Perhaps we do.
Oh, it's usually so silly to ask in cases like that, isn't it? It's a Mr. Vandegelder.
Horace Vandegelder?
What Vandegelder saying, Pete?
Do you know him?
No.
No.
Mr. Vandegelder is a substantial man and well-liked, they tell me.
A lovely man, Miss Malloy. Just lovely. Has only one fault as far as I know. He's as hard as nails.
Cornelius? I think.
Now, perhaps your friends might like this one.
Look out! Excuse us, Mrs. Malloy.
Gentlemen, what are you doing?
Oh, Mrs. Malloy, we'll explain later.
Or is it as innocent as me, Miss Malloy?
Well, really, Mr. Tucker, Mr. Hackle, I insist you both come out of there at once, or I will be forced to. Mr. Vandegelder.
Mrs. Malloy, I don't suppose Mrs. Levi's here, is she? She was supposed to meet me on that bench 10 minutes ago. Well, she can just go looking for me if she comes. When I make an appointment, I expect people to be on time. Oh. Here's a present for you. Chocolate-covered peanuts. Unshelled. That's the expensive kind. Did I just see you talking with two men?
Men? Men, Mr. Vandegelder. What would men be doing in a lady's hat shop? Well, really, let's go back into my workroom. I'm so anxious for you to see it.
Ugh. I saw it last week.
So you did? Well, Mr. Vandegelder, what's new in the hay and feed business? I understand you have two friends all hard as nails.
What on earth are you talking about?
Yonkers. I hear it's a very beautiful city.
And who's been telling you about Yonkers, may I ask?
Nobody. A friend.
What friend?
Well, you see,
He?
a customer, Mr. Vandegelder, and someone quite well-to-do, as a matter of fact. He was in here buying hats for ladies. Oh, you might even know him, though it's usually silly to ask in cases like that, isn't it? It's a Mr. Cornelius Hackle.
Did you say hackle?
Why, yes.
Well, he just happens to be my chief clerk, that's all. Mrs. Malloy, I demand an explanation.
And I'm going to give it to you. Why shouldn't she know Cornelius Hackle? Everybody in New York knows Cornelius Hackle. Why, he's here at the opera, in all the fashionable homes. Why, he's at the Harmonia Gardens restaurant 3 times a week.
Impossible. He's only got $146.35, and I keep it in my own safe.
Oh, Mr. Van der Gelder, you're killing me. He's one of the Hackles. They built the canal.
What canal?
The Panama.
The Erie.
The Erie.
Both.
It ain't the same man.
Who took the horses out of Jenny Lind's carriage and pulled her through the streets? Cornelius Hackle. And who dressed up as a waiter at the Fifth Avenue Hotel and dropped an oyster down Mrs. Astor's? I can't say it. But it was Cornelius. He's the playboy of New York. Now, Irene, don't deny it. I can see you were taken with him just like everybody else.
Really, Dolly, I just met him. I couldn't possibly...
Excuse me.
Of course.
Now look here, if there's a man in that closet...
No, Mr. Van der Gelder, you can't. It's too dangerous.
No man that hides in ladies' closets can frighten me, Mrs. Levi. Stand aside.
Stand, indeed. I can see you'd make short work of any man. Those muscles. I can see them now rippling back and forth under your coat. Ripple, ripple, ripple. Back and forth. Ripple, ripple, ripple.
For the last time, Mrs. Levi, will you stand aside?
Stand, indeed, Mr. Van der Gelder. That's exactly what the courts will want to know when you're accused of entering that woman's closet without a search warrant. I mean, what do you stand for if not for the law of this great land? I know what I stand for. I stand for motherhood, America, and a hot lunch for orphans. Take off your hats, sir. Betsy Ross's flag is passing. Do you see them at the bridge of Waterloo? Neath the great triumphal arch. If you see them tramping through the graves of wrath, stand up and march, march, march.
Has this not affected you, sir? I came here at 14 years of age as an immigrant girl from a land that oppressed my people, and I have come to say what was echoed by the great and patriotic American,
Moses.
I stand for motherhood, America, and a hot lunch for orphans. Take off your hats, sir. There's a tear-stained eagle passing. Do you see them on the bridge at Waterloo? Leave that great triumphal arch. If you see them singing in the sugar cane, stand up and march, march, march. I stand for
Alamo, remember the Alamo. I regret that I would like to give Betsy Ross's coat of tracing in the ways of Lincoln.
on the bridge at Waterloo.
To my CIHS,
Don't
Sheriff
try to
down.
follow.
Oh, Stonewall
If you
Jackson,
see them jumping through the graves of wrath, stand up and march, march. 407 years ago, march, 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 march.
Down with torpedoes, full speed ahead.
March, march, march.
So you see, Mr. Van der Gelder, there couldn't possibly be a man in this closet. God bless you.
Mrs. Malloy?
All right, Mr. Van de Gelder. There is a man in this closet.
Aha!
And another under this table.
Oh, what the devil!
And there also happens to be a very simple explanation for it all. But for the present, good afternoon, Mr. Van de Gelder.
Good Lord, the whole room's crawling with men. I'll never get over it. I take it I'll see you later this afternoon, Mr. Van de Gelder.
You certainly will. With a certain young lady on the main float at the end of the parade. Good day, Mrs. Malloy.
Mrs. Malloy, I can explain everything. You see, we... No. Mrs. Malloy, we can explain everything.
I do not wish to hear any explanations, Mr. Hackle. Just you and Mr. Tucker do me the pleasure of leaving my shop at once, or I will be forced to send for Officer Best.
Well, if you ask me, Irene, I think calling an officer's letting them off too easy. The law courts, that's where they belong. I've been adding up the legal offenses these two have committed, and believe me, you've got grounds for at least 2 writs, a non corpus mentis, and a garnishee. Now, the first thing to do is to try to prove you tried to settle it peacefully first. I know, have dinner with them.
Dinner?
Is that absolutely necessary, Dolly?
It's the way things are done in the law, Irene. Dinner first, garnishee afterwards.
Well, if that's the way it must be, Mr. Hackle, Mr. Tucker, you may have the pleasure of escorting Miss Fay and myself to dinner.
Delighted, Mrs. Malloy. I speak for Barnaby, too. Now, I hear there's a nice restaurant down at the railway station.
Oh, no, Mr. Hackle. If the Harmonia Gardens is good enough for your fashionable friends, it's good enough for us. I hear they have a lovely orchestra there, Minnie.
We can't go there. It's not the money or anything. It's the whale.
It's
the whale. No, it isn't the whale, Barnaby. It's the dancing. You see, they have dancing in places like this. Exhibitions, even contests, and I don't know how. It would take me weeks, months, even years to learn. Is this Dolly Levi, 33-year-old chief clerk's taught how to dance?
Now, it's very simple. Just give me 5 minutes of your time, Mr. Hackle, and I'll have you dancing through the streets. Just put one arm here and one arm here. We'll start out with lesson 7, the waltz kick turn. Right touch, left touch, under, back, around, touch, twirl, whirl, release, unfurl. That's wonderful. When I think of the lucky women who'll find heaven in your arms, let's go back to lesson 1. Put your hand on her waist and stand with your left hand in her right hand. And 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Look, I'm dancing. Well, I was.
Of course you were, Mr. Hackle. Take the someone whose arms you're in. Hold on to her tight and spin. And 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Look, I'm dancing.
Turn around and turn around, try floating through the air. Can't you be a little more aesthetic?
Don't you think my dancing has a polish and a flair?
The word I think I'd use is athletic.
Well, my heart is about to burst. My head is about to pop. And now now that we're dancing, who cares if I ever stop?
Look at me, everybody. I, Cornelius tackle sport and dancing.
You're next, Mr. Tucker. Glide and then step and glide.
And everybody stand aside. Look, he's dancing.
You could learn to polka if you worked a week or so, or the tango filled with passion seething.
I could join the chorus of the Castle Garden show.
Whatever you do, for gosh sakes, keep breathing. For my heart is about to burst. My head is about to pop. And now that we're dancing, who cares if we ever stop?
When there's someone you hardly know and wish you were closer to, remember that he can be near to you while you're dancing. You've only just said hello. He's suddenly someone who can make all your daydreams appear to you while you're dancing. Make the music weave a spell, while away your worries. Things look almost twice as well when they're slightly blurry, as around and around you go. Your spirits will hit the top. And now that we're dancing, who cares if we ever stop? 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And now that we're dancing, who cares if we ever stop?
Mrs. Levi, how are you, Mrs. Levi? How are you, Miss Rose? The same. Pains in my back, aches in my side, stabs in my liver. I'm fine. My daughter Fanny got married, you know. Did she? A year ago last September. You know, it's been such a long time since you lived here, Mrs. Levi. Such a long time. Ephraim, let me go. It's been long enough, Ephraim. Every evening for all these years, I've put out the cat, I've locked the door, I've made myself a little rum tutty, and before I went to bed, I said a prayer, thanking God that I was independent, that no one else's life was messed up with mine. And then one night, an oak leaf fell out of my Bible. I placed it there when you asked me to marry you, Ephraim. A perfectly good oak leaf, but without color and without life. And suddenly I realized that I was like that leaf. For years I had not shed one tear, nor had I been filled with the wonderful hope that something or other would turn out well. And so I've decided to rejoin the human race. And Ephraim, I want you to give me away. Before the parade passes by, I've got to get in step while there's still time left. before the parade passes by. I've got to get some.
Mrs. Levi, come along. Cornelius is taking us all down to see the 42nd Street Parade. Everyone will be marching.
Why, Irene, you're crying.
Isn't the world full of wonderful things? Come with us, Dolly.
I will, Irene. I will. Before the parade passes by, I've got to go and taste Saturday's high life. Before the parade passes by, I've got to get some life back into my life. I'm ready to move out in front. I've had enough of just passing by life with the rest of them, with the best of them. I can hold my head up high, for I've gotta go again, I've gotta drive again, I'm gonna feel my heart coming alive again before the parade passes by. Look at that crowd up ahead. Listen and hear that brass harmony growing. Look at that crowd up ahead. Pardon me if my own spirit is showing. All of those lights over there seem to be telling me where I'm going. When the whistles blow and the cymbals crash and the sparklers light the sky, I'm gonna raise the roof, I'm gonna carry on. Give me an old trombone, give me an open time before the parade passes by.
Listen and hear that brass harmony growing. The parade passes by. Pardon me if my old spirit is shining. Those lights over there seem to be telling me where
Mrs. Levi, where is Miss Money?
Nothing to get upset about, Mr. Van der Gelder. Just a little last-minute substitution. They were running a little short at the Mint, and Miss Money's helping out. But she'll meet you at the Harmonia Gardens restaurant at 8 o'clock tonight.
That's the most expensive restaurant in the city.
As well it should be. What food! And the fastest waiters in all New York. By the way, I might be a little late, so Miss Money will meet you at the front of the restaurant. But wait till you see her, Horace, all in buttercup yellow and baby pink slippers, and humming an old-fashioned tune. Yes, sweet Rosie O'Grady, you couldn't miss her if you tried.
I'll be there, Dolly, but only because I already paid for the introduction and I might as well get my money's worth. But hear this, from now on you're hereby discharged as my marriage broker. Is that clear? From now on you're just a regular woman like anyone else.
Ephraim, he's as good as mine.
Cornelius. We've just loved looking at the lights of 42nd Street these past 4 hours. But perhaps we better call for a hack or we won't get to the Harmonia Gardens on time. Oh, there's one. Yoo-hoo!
We can't do that, Miss Malloy. It isn't the money or anything. It's just that nowadays, real elegant people never take hacks. Hacks is out. They all go by streetcar.
J.P. Morgan, Dimension, Vanderbilt.
Then by all means, a streetcar. Imagine. Just think. I've been elegant my whole life, and I never even knew it.
Of course, if you'd really like to be elegant,
We do.
you walk.
Yes, New York, it's really us, Barnaby and Cornelius.
All the guests of Mr. Hackle are feeling great and look spectacular.
What a knack there is to that acting like a born aristocrat. We got elegance if you ain't got elegance. You can never ever carry it off. All who are well-bred agree, Minnie Fay has pedigree.
Exercise your wildest wings tonight. We are out with diamond gems tonight. Could they be misleading us?
Silver spoons were used for feeding us. We got elegance if you ain't got elegance. You can never ever carry it off. Middle class, don't speak of it, savoir-faire. We reek of it, some were born with rags and patches, but we use dollar bills for matches and
Vanderbilt kowtows to us.
J.P. Morgan scrapes and bows to us.
We got elegance, we got built
Win elegance. Have you noticed when I hold my cup, the saucer never moves?
and the way I keep my pinky up into its ugly moves.
That's we got elegance, we got built in elegance and with elegance.
Elegance!
We'll carry it on.
Got elegance. If you ain't got elegance, you can never ever carry it off. We got elegance. We got elegance. Minnie, look, they're counting their money again. Isn't that just like the rich? Well, gentlemen, aren't you going to escort us in?
Delighted, Mrs. Malloy. Ahem, Barnaby. Hi, Mrs. Malloy.
Yes, Mr. Hackle.
As we start in, may I
Yes, Mr. Hackle.
put my arm around your waist?
Yes, Mr. Hackle. But I might as well warn you, a corset is a corset.
I don't want to go on stage. I just want to get married.
You heard Miss Levi. This is the only way to show your uncle that we mean business. Now, could you weep a little faster? You're throwing me off step. Faster. That's it.
Hey there, how are you doing?
My sweet little rose.
What you doing after the show?
Dolly said be here by 8 p.m. and here it is 8:10. Now where is she? No. No, Dolly would never do anything like that to me. Excuse me, but are you by any chance Miss Money?
Yeah? What's your name?
Horace Vandegelder.
Well then, walk this way.
No. Oh, Dolly.
It is my order as head waiter of the Harmonia Gardens and your supreme commander that tonight of all nights our usual lightning service will be twice as lightning as ever. Or else I trust you are finding this table satisfactory, sir. The private dining rooms do cost a bit more, but they provide the best view of the entertainment.
$1.45, Cornelius. That's all that's left. Are you sure? Go count it again.
Prepare yourself for a big night, Minnie. We're out with two of New York's best-known sports.
Oh, I did make a mistake. It's only $1.35. I'll count it once more. No, don't. We can't afford it.
I'm going to order everything on the menu. Waiter!
For Miss Levi and Poppy.
And who do you think I am? Only it's Horace Vandegelder in party. She's in my party, I ain't in hers.
Mr. Vandegelder, of course. It's just Miss Levi didn't mention nothing about you bringing
my personal physician. That's enough rouge, doctor.
But Miss Levi only ordered a chicken for two.
Chicken? Chickens are dear.
Pâté maison and soup de jour and pommes soufflé.
Well, why didn't you tell me this was an Oriental restaurant? We'll take 2 bowls of rice. Now get out. Now, Miss Money, I understand you carry respectable sums in your belt.
Yeah, $2. Only it's in my gutter.
But Minnie and I don't care who sees us tonight. Well, Minnie, what have you decided?
Oh, I couldn't have anything of these prices. Really, I couldn't.
Great rhinestones! What a sensible girl. Waiter, bring us 4 glasses of water, a loaf of yesterday's bread, and some cheese.
Yesterday's bread, why Cornelius? Now I know how he keeps having New York in stitches all the time. Minnie, have you ever eaten pheasant?
Pheasant?
Say, why the closed curtains? You ashamed of something?
It's not that. I just felt a slight chill.
Well then, why didn't you say so? Here, I'll loan you this. Now then, let's order something to hold us off until the rice comes. Waiter, would you bring over a roast suckling pig with chestnut and oyster stuffing, some cheese fondue, and some lady fingers? Now what will you have? What you doing after the show?
It's sweet of you to worry about our digestion, Cornelius, but I'm sure the pheasants are fresh. We'll take 4, please, and a nice red wine.
Wait a minute. No wine.
No wine?
Champagne.
Champagne?
It's once in a lifetime, Barnaby. Champagne and Neapolitan ice cream and hot house peaches and... Barnaby, give the band leader a nickel and tell him to play To a Wild Rose. We want music while we dine.
This is a cafe, isn't it? Let's dance.
The Band of Gelders do not dance, Miss Money. We're Presbyterian.
All right, I'll dance myself. Give him $2 to give to the band leader, will ya? And tell him to play something refined. I'm going to do the hoochie coochie.
All right, Cornelius, I'll send for the band, but promise you won't order anything else.
You ain't here, Miss Money. I'll tell them to play a nice waltz. to the band leader and tell him to play a nice waltz.
Excuse me. Here's a nickel for the band leader. Will you tell him to play,
Oh, Miss Money!
And 2 more pheasants, please.
Cornelius!
My purse.
My wallet.
Hey, you, that's my purse.
Excuse me. But that's my wallet. I know it's mine because there's exactly $1, 3 dimes, 5 pennies, and, Cornelius? Cornelius? Did they say 2 pheasants? 3, 4 pheasants for everybody in the house. And who cares if I don't see the whale? I'll buy one of my own.
How many times have I told you, boy? There is no shouting. This is the Harmonia Gardens, not one of those.
But sir, she's here.
What? Are you sure, boy?
Like you told me, 8 o'clock on the nose. Up pulls a carriage and out steps a tall lady. And with the biggest hairdo I've ever saw.
It is! It's Dolly! She's back!
No, is it true? Heard somebody laughing outside the kitchen window. It sounded like...
It is! It's Dolly!
Doesn't matter. She just stepped out of the carriage. No, it's true. No, it's true. Yeah. She pulled out of a white and gold carriage with her 6-pack glasses with Scottish blue.
But now that I'm back in the lights of 14th Street, tomorrow will be brighter than the good old days. Those good old days. Hello, darling. Well, hello.
Excuse me, girlie. Dolly? Dolly Gallagher? What are you doing in that getup? And you're half an hour late, and I demand an explanation of...
Ernestina?
Exactly.
Ernestina, whom I trusted.
She wanted to do the hoochie coochie.
Well, she always was artistic. Horace, I'm going to have her table moved down front. There's someone in the dance competition I particularly want you to see. However, let's not say another word about it. I'm as shocked as you are. I can't eat a thing. What have you ordered?
What you wanted. A chicken. Now about that hoochie coochie, girl.
Did you say a chicken? Oh, I don't think I could face a chicken. Not a chicken, not today. Not after what's happened.
Good. Then cancel the chicken.
And bring a turkey.
What are you doing now?
Nothing, just looking the place over, getting acquainted with the surroundings.
That's the trouble with you, Dolly. Always wanting to know everything. Always sticking your nose into other people's affairs. Why, anybody who married you would be as nervous as a cat.
What? What's that you're saying?
I said anybody who married you...
Horace Vandergelder, get that idea out of your head this minute. Well, I'm surprised you even mentioned such a thing. Understand once and for all that I have no intention of marrying you.
I didn't mean that.
Well, I certainly do hope not. Horace Vandergelder, you go your way and I'll go mine. I'm not some Irene Malloy whose head can be turned by a few chocolate-covered peanuts. Unshelled. Why, the idea of you even suggesting such a thing.
Mrs. Levi, you misunderstood me.
Well, I certainly do hope not. But if I had any intention of marrying again, it would be to a far more pleasure-loving man than you. We won't say another word about it. Here's the waiter with our food. I'll serve Mr. Van de Gelder Rudolph. Now here's some white meat for you, and some dumplings, lighter than air they are, and some giblets, very tender and very good for you. No, as I said before, you go your way, and I'll go mine. Start right in on the wine. I'm sure it'll make you feel better at once. However, since you brought the matter up, I think there's one more thing I'm going to say.
I didn't bring the matter up at all.
One more thing I'm going to say before we forget all about it. It's true that I'm a woman who likes to know everything that's going on around her, who likes to manage things. But I shouldn't like to manage anything as out of control as your household. You'll have to do that yourself, God helping you.
It's not out of control.
Very well, let's not say another word about it. Have some beets, Horace, they're good.
I don't like beets.
That's good. No, Horace, a complaining, quarrelsome, friendless soul like you is no sort of companion for me. You salt your beets, and I'll salt mine.
Will you stop saying that?
I won't say another word.
Good.
Except this, at your age, Horace, you should enjoy hearing the honest truth.
My age. My age! You're always talking about my age!
Well, I don't know what your age is. But I do know that up in Yonkers with bad food and bad temper, you'll double it in 6 months. Have some more beets, Horace, they're good.
I don't like beets. I hate beets!
Oh, that's nice. Now start right in. Yes, Horace, the pity of it is you could be a perfectly witty, charming, amiable man if you wanted to.
I don't want to be charming.
But you are. Look at you now. You can't hide it. Now sit down, Horace, and let's talk of something else. But before we change the subject, there's one more thing I'm going to say.
I don't want to hear it, and you're wasting your time, Dolly. I'm not going to ask you to marry me.
Well, then I suppose that means you want me to ask you.
Oh.
Well, I'm sorry, Horace, but I'm turning you down.
Oh, how can you turn me down when I haven't asked you anything?
It's no use arguing. I've made up your mind. Here, let me cut your wings.
I've got a headache. I'm going back to my hotel.
You can't go now. The competition's about to begin.
Here's the money to pay for the dinner. Here's... Wait a minute. All that's in here is $1, 3 dimes, 5 pennies, and a button? This isn't my purse. I've lost my purse.
Barnaby, that purse you found.
It's Van de Gelder's. We better get out of here.
What am I going to do? They don't know me here. Stop eating that turkey. I can't pay for it.
Horace, it's the latest thing, a polka, and there's one dancer I particularly want you to see. Rudolph, move our table right down front so Mr. Van de Gelder can get a better look at his graceful movements.
Wait a minute, that man, that dancer.
Isn't he wonderful? With talent like that, he's sure to win the solid gold trophy.
Come along, Mrs. Malloy. It's been a perfectly wonderful evening, but I'm afraid we're going to have to cut it a bit short.
Minnie, a polka. Cornelius, I simply must have one dance.
But Van de Gelder's right there. We gotta go.
We win, but we'll dance our way out.
Cornelius Hackle!
Mr. Van de Gelder!
Barnaby Tucker!
Van de Gelder!
Ermengarde! Mrs. Levi, this is your doing. What are you up to?
Mr. Van de Gelder, we can explain everything.
I don't want to hear any explanations. You're fired!
I am going to call the police and arrest that man.
inciting a riot, and several serious violations of the law of this city. Now, who's here to speak on your behalf? I say, is there anyone here to speak on your behalf? Dolly Levi, counselor at law.
Your Honor, the defense rests. No, there is no need to call witnesses, ladies and gentlemen. When I see upon that bench a brow that gleams with honor, a pair of snow-white whiskers that bristle with fair play, and a nose, I ask you to look at that nose, ladies and gentlemen. A nose that shines in the night like a flaming beacon of justice. Would you turn this way a bit, Your Honor, so we can get a better look at your beacon? A living symbol of the motto of this great land, E proboscis unum. Your Honor, I ask for freedom for my clients, and a verdict of guilty for the only real culprit, Horace Van de Gelder of Yonkers, New York.
Dolly!
The one man responsible for the grievous charges of willful destruction of private property.
A curtain torn, a waiter bruised, and a solid gold trophy bent.
Cruelty to a poor, unfortunate minor. Would you mind repeating that, dear?
If you please the court, I may have something to say.
I was just about to call you, Mr. Hackle. Go right ahead.
Cornelius Hackle, if you dare testify against me, you'll be discharged.
You've already done that, Mr. Van de Gelder.
Oh, do it again.
And you've done it again, too. But even if you hadn't, I'd still say what I need to say. I don't know much about inciting to riot or disturbing the peace, but I do know that what happened to me today, which is the most important thing that could happen to a man, might have never happened if I would have listened to your orders and stayed in Yonkers, New York. Your Honor, I am talking about none other than love.
You mean to tell me after 33 years, you've fallen in love because you took one evening off?
Oh no, Mr. Van de Gelder. I didn't fall in love with Mrs. Irene Malloy of this town in just an evening, an hour. Even that's too long. What's less than a minute?
A second?
Less than that.
A moment.
That's it. I'll go slowly so you can take this all down. It only takes a moment.
moment for your eyes to meet, and then your heart knows in a moment you will never be alone again. I held her for an instant, but my arms felt sure and strong. It only takes a moment to be loved a whole life long. Isn't the world full of wonderful things? There I sat, cooped up in Yonkers for years and years. And all this time, wonderful people like Mrs. Malloy were right here in New York, right under my nose. And I didn't know them at all. I don't know whether you can tell, well, from where you're sitting, the way her eye, cheek, and forehead come together up there. Well, can you? I tell you, a fine woman is the greatest gift of God on earth. You can talk all you'd like about Niagara Falls and the pyramids, but they're not in it at all. Of course, I've seen women before, but today, I talked to one, equal to equal. And they're so different from men. Awfully mysterious, too. I bet you could know a girl 100 years and not even know whether she truly likes you or not. I've lost so many things today. My job, my future, everything a person thinks is important, but I don't care. Even if I have to be a ditch digger the rest of my life, I'll be a ditch digger who once had a wonderful day.
Excuse me, Mr. Hackle, but I missed a few words back there. Could you start with, it only?
Well, Horace, there's your life. Without niece, without clerks, without bride, and without your purse. It looks like there's only one thing left to say.
If it's to ask me to marry you, never, not in a million years, under no circumstances will I ever marry you!
Oh, that wasn't it at all, Horace. All I wanted to say to you was, goodbye!
What?
Goodbye!
Now hold on, Dolly.
It's too late, Horace. I've failed. And when a woman fails, there's nothing else she can say.
Wait.
But...
Hey.
Goodbye! 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 Don't try to stop me, Horace, please! Wave your little hand and whisper so long, dearie, you ain't gonna see me anymore. But when you discover that your life is dreary, don't you come a knocking at my door. For I'll be all dolled up and singing that song that says, you dog, I told you so. So wave your little hand and whisper so long, dearie, dearie, should I said so long ago. Because you treated me so rotten and rough, I've had enough of feeling low. So wave your little hand and whisper so long, dearie, dearie, should I said so long ago. For I can hear that choo-choo calling me on towards a fancy new address. Yes, I can hear that choo-choo calling me on towards the Happiness Express. I'm gonna learn to dance and drink and smoke a cigarette. I'm gonna spar right from Yonkers as a girl can get. And on those cold winter nights, Horace, you can snuggle up to your cash register. It's a little lumpy, but it rings. Don't come on knocking, I'll be held up and singing that song that says, you dog, I told you so. So, Horace, you will find your life a sad old story when you see your Dolly shuffle off to glory. Yes, I should have said so long ago.
And I wouldn't marry you, Dolly Gallagher, if you were the last woman on earth. Not in a million years. I didn't need you before, and I don't need you now. You go your way, and I'll go mine. Ah! Dolly. Dolly. Dolly!
You stamped, Mr. Van de Gelder?
Oh, so it's you, Mr. Hackle. Come crawling back, have you?
Oh, no, Mr. Van de Gelder. I've just come back from my $146.35. You see, I've decided to go into business for myself. And since the only business I know is hay and feed, I've decided to open up my own store.
And we found the perfect location, Mr. Van de Gelder. Right across the street from you.
So, you think you can compete with the Van de Gelders, do you? Well, just you try. Aha, another one come crawling back, is it? What do you want?
My back salary for the last 4 months, $6.12.
You can't do this to me, any of you. I'll I'll go to the courts. I'll get lawyers. I'll.
Why, Horace Vandergelder, as I live and breathe. If you aren't handsome in that outfit, so few men nowadays have the courage to wear that shade of brown and taupe.
Dolly Gallagher.
I know just what you're going to say, Horace. You're not satisfied with Ernestina. Well, I have another girl for you, the ideal wife. But don't let me interrupt you. You were doing something? What were you doing?
Getting Cornelius's money, Dolly. $146.
And 35 cents.
And $6.12 of mine.
And money my mama left me.
$52.48.
38.
48.
All right. All right, if it's the money you want, the safe is upstairs.
All right.
Money, 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 money. Mr. Vandergelder's money. It's like the sun we walk under. It can kill or cure. Mr. Vandergelder's quite fond of saying that everyone in the world's a fool. And in a way, he's right, isn't he? Himself, Irene, Cornelius, myself. We're all fools. And we're all in danger of destroying the world in our folly. But the surest way to keep us out of harm's way is to give us the 4 or 5 things that are all right in this world. And that takes a little money. At least, my late husband, Ephraim Levi, believed in life. And he believed that money, pardon the expression, is like manure. It's not worth a thing unless it's spread around encouraging young things to grow. At least, that's the opinion of the second Mrs. Vandergelder. Which reminds me, Ephraim, I'm ready for that sign.
Well, don't just stand there. That goes upstairs.
Horace Vandergelder, as I was saying, I found you the ideal wife.
I don't want you to find me no ideal wives. If I want an ideal wife, I'll find her on my own. And I found her. And it's you, that net.
Why, Horace.
I know I've been a fool about Mrs. Malloy and that other woman. But forgive me and marry me.
Horace, stop right there.
What do you mean?
You know as well as I do that you're the first citizen of Yonkers. And your wife, she would have to be a somebody. Tell me, Horace, am I a somebody?
You are. Wonderful woman.
Oh, you're partial? No, Horace, it wouldn't be enough for you to load your wife with money and jewels, to insist on her being benefactress to half the town.
Oh.
By the way, it's bad business letting Cornelius open a shop next to you. Better take him back and let him be your partner.
Partner?
And Barnaby can have Cornelius's old job.
Now hold on, Dolly.
That way we'll all be together so you can dance at Ermengarde's wedding.
That does it. This time you've gone too far. Besides, I don't know how to dance, and it would take me weeks, months, years to. All right, I'll dance.
Mark Horace, I never thought I'd hear you say a thing like that.
Well, don't just stand there. That front room, you idiot. Go on.
Horace Vandergelder, what's going on up there?
Oh, nothing. I just thought I'd have that front room done over in blue wallpaper.
Horace.
I know the old paper ain't worn out yet, but that fella's just set up business and needs a good start. Besides, I've heard that money, pardon the expression, is like manure. It's no good unless it's...
Thank you, Ephraim.
Hello, Dolly. Well, hello, Dolly. It's so nice to have you here where you belong. I never knew, Dolly, without you, Dolly. Life was awfully flat, and more than that was awfully wrong.
The second to last performance of every year is our night to recognize seniors. In addition to the senior video we had this afternoon, or this at intermission, we would like our seniors to come to the front of the cast right now and announce each one of their names. If you could hold your applause till the end.